What's going on, everybody? Tis I once again. And okay, here's what tomorrow, or here's what tonight. Good Lord, what am I even saying? Here's what the topic is tonight. I want to know who are some of the greatest pop culture figures in history, and I want to know the best figures that represent those people. So, if you're catching this on the replay, those are the two questions basically is who are some big time pop culture people that you think are huge, and what are the best action figures that represent those people or those characters? That's probably a little more accurate. So that's what I've got. That's what this one's all about. I'm sure we'll end up talking about other things, but we started talking about this the other night, and I thought this could be kind of fun. Plus, it's the holiday season, so I'm sure everyone is absolutely flush with cash. We don't have to spend anything this time of year, so we should all have tons of money. And I thought, why not give the people things to spend money on? I'm just that kind of guy. So that's where I am with all this. And I figured out, notice no glasses right now, I figured out how to expand the screen. So we'll see how this goes. I'm going to have to jump back and forth quite a bit because I'm only operating with one screen. So, Skew Raider, nice to see you, sir. Hey, tell me, what do you think are the top pop culture people of all time? And then let's start getting into figures. These are the things I want to know. Now, something else that I'm going to fire off here is that, hey, we've got more. Harry, nice to see you, dude. Thanks for stopping by. So, something else that I was thinking that I need to throw out there for my own sake, even though, okay, my collection is largely 1/12 scale. So if there's a 1/12 scale version, it might beat the 1/10 scale version, even if I could argue that the 1/10 scale version is better. For instance, the recent NECA creature from the Black Lagoon is incredible. And I would argue Universal Monsters, pretty much all of those are big time pop culture people, characters. But I've seen Unparalleled Universe's review of that thing, and it is glorious. It's even articulated well. NECA killed it with that figure, but I would be more likely to get Jada's creature from the Black Lagoon simply because it's 1/12 scale. Now, that said, that's just for me. That doesn't have to be for all of you. So just fire off the characters that you think are big time in pop culture and figures that you think represent them the best, and we'll get started. I've even got a little Word file open because I don't know if I have Excel on here. I don't use a lot of Microsoft products. So I've got a Word file open so I can start listing characters and then listing what the figures are that best represent them. So what do we have? What's up, LBZ? Oh, let's see. See that? I'm making this bigger so I can think here and I can look. Batman, because he's Batman. Okay, that's another thing that I should probably bring up. I'm a comic book guy, so I think I've got the comic book ones figured out. I want to know about the others. So the comic book ones, and see if you disagree with this, if you think anybody else can be thrown on the list. The DC comic characters that I think are really kind of out there as far as pop culture is concerned are Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. You got the Trinity, obviously, and Joker and Harley Quinn. Beyond that, I don't know that there's tons out there that people are like, oh, hey, I know who that is. And then when it comes to Marvel Comics, you've got pretty much the Avengers that have been showing up, well, that were showing up for Endgame and the first Avengers movie, except, like, I don't know that Black Widow and Hawkeye really qualify, which is too bad because I thought that the people did great those roles. I thought Scarlett Johansson was awesome. I thought Jeremy Renner was awesome, but I'm not sure that they kind of hit the pop culture atmosphere quite like Captain America does, or Hulk, Thor, or definitely Iron Man. I shouldn't say that because I would say Cap and Iron Man, their stock really shot through the roof because of those movies. But then there's Wolverine, there's Spider-Man, and I would argue Thanos. And besides those, for like main Marvel and DC, maybe even Spawn, but I kind of, obviously jumping Marvel and DC, But while we all know who Spawn is, I'm not sure that the public really knows who Spawn is. So if you can think of other comic characters that you feel really have hit the pop culture mainstream, let me know, and I'll start listing those off too. So what do we have here? Oh, comments are coming in. Boy, look at this. Look at this. Watch this. Woo! Okay, you can't see that, but I just enlarged the screen again. Ski Raider, Link. Oh, Samus. I wondered about Samus. The recent Samus figure that came out is glorious. Donkey and Diddy Kong, the Muppets, advertising mascots, and superheroes. When you're talking advertising mascots, I had this question too when I was trying to come up with this. I recently got Chester Cheetah. I love that figure. Would you say that he qualifies? I don't know. Like I wonder about, say, like, because Jada's already made these are obviously things that pop into my head. What about like Count Chocula and Boo Berry and Frankenberry? Do you think those count? And are we looking at things that maybe we all grew up with because of what cereal was allowed to get away with and McDonald's was allowed to get away with Ronald and all those? And we're not really thinking about what people maybe in their 20s are thinking of. Because I want pop culture, I tend to think, yeah, sorry about that. I tend to think spans all over the place. Like it spans all ages. Everybody knows who these characters are. So just some food for thought, because I'm not sure. I was trying to figure that out like earlier today when I was coming up with this. I was like, Chester's rad. And I think people know who he is. I did find out he was created in 1986. So I think a lot of people have grown up with him, though I had to tell my niece, who was 8, who Chester Cheetah was. Now, she knew as soon as I explained who he was, but she didn't know him by name. So that's one of those things that I have in mind as well. So let's see what we've got going here in L chat. Harry, what do we got here? Ooh, aliens. Yeah, I think now, do we go with Big Chap or do we go with a queen? Like that's what I'm curious about. Okay. Skew Raider, many more. I'll keep naming them as I access them from memory. 80s cartoon characters, 90s, 2000s, a whole bunch of them. G.I. Joe, Cobra, Thundercats, Transformers, Smurfs and Alvin and the Chipmunks. I didn't even think of those. And I feel like at least Alvin and the Chipmunks have really kind of, well, I was going to say, I feel like they're big time, but are they? I mean, a lot of people, like my mom, knew who Alvin and the Chipmunks were. I knew who Alvin and the Chipmunks were, but have they done much in recent years? I'm not sure. Now, G.I. Joe and Cobra, when it comes to that, I feel like Snake Eyes has transcended pop culture, but I don't know that there's many other characters that have, even though Hasbro and everyone else that has the G.I. Joe license keeps insisting on producing Dukes and Cobra Commanders and all those things. I have a feeling Snake Eyes is the only one, but I could be wrong too. So if you think I'm off, let me know. Let's see, Thundercats. I don't know that Thundercats qualify. They qualify from an 80s perspective, but like someone my niece's age or someone in high school or someone in their 20s even, would they know who the Thundercats are? I know there was a cartoon recently, but the one thing about the stuff that a lot of us in our 30s and 40s grew up with is the choices were really limited, as in we all basically watched the same stuff. And as we've gotten older and as other generations have come into play, I suppose, and a lot more options for them all to check out. So whereas all of us might have watched Transformers and G.I. Joe, their attention is more split into all kinds of shows. So I kind of wonder also, after and that's something else. I keep wondering, like Neo, obviously, I think Neo would make it. I think he's pop culture enough. Sorry about that, guys. Let's see. What else do we have? Woo! You guys are hopping for this one. I need more pop culture live streams, obviously. Let's see. See Ready Player One, the movie. A lot more culture. 80s and 70s, 90s dominate pop culture. But do they? I mean, yeah, I would say they do right now. I don't know. Do 70s really dominate the pop culture right now? Like, I know 80s and 90s are out there, at least as far as figures are concerned. But what from the 70s is something that's really out there quite a bit, aside from, say, Star Wars, like the first movie. Because let's not forget that the other Star Wars movies, at least the original trilogy, and all the Indiana Jones movies were in the 80s. So I keep trying to figure out, or since you typed that, since I read that, I'm trying to figure out what all 70s wise works. And I'm just adjusting so you don't have to see my gargantuan head. Let's see. So many buttons. Whew. Oh, yep. Yes, RoboCop. I know. And I actually thought about sitting down to watch that yesterday, and I just didn't get to it. But I definitely gotta check it out. Hello, Danger. Yo, what's good? Optimus Danger. Thanks for stopping by, man. Just discussing a little bit of pop culture, what characters you see as being big time in the pop culture landscape, which figures you think are perfect for those characters. All right. Ooh, and there's a lot here. I might actually have to skip some stuff. Oh, Harry, I see your Bugs Bunny suggestion. I totally agree. I think he counts. Let's see. Peanuts, Skew Raider, you're right. Let's see. There's so much. LBZ, there was the live action movies for Alvin and the Chipmunks, so they're kind of fresh off people's minds. That was popular enough to warrant sequels. All right. So has Andy made good Alvin and the Chipmunks figures? Like that feels like a Super 7 thing all day, but I'm not sure. So let me know. I know one thing that Super 7 made that I know isn't really big time pop culture, but that I consider one of the last great Disney characters is they made a Stitch. And I kind of want that Stitch Ultimates. I think he's pretty cool. Whew. All right. Let's see. So many suggestions. I like it. Or, oh, why? Why you gotta fire off squeakles? Ah, I should have known. I should have known. So much. There's a lot more that yep. I do have. I was looking at my figures today when it comes to like what I considered big time pop culture that I picked up in 2020. And obviously, I think the Turtles are pretty transcendent. They're big time. He-Man, to your Masters of the Universe point, but almost as much, I think Skeletor kind of transcends it too when we're talking about individual characters. I'm not sure anyone else in Masters of the Universe does it, but if you think I'm wrong, let me know, because I haven't kept up with my Motu like I did when I was a kid, though I am paying more attention now since I got that He-Man. But I got that He-Man because I want that Skeletor. You can't have Skeletor without He-Man, and I'm probably going to get Beastman and pick up the rest of those cartoon figures. I'm a sucker. Now, let's keep going back, see what we've got. Woo! Let's see. Okay, Harry. Pokemon for sure. And I know that they're doing things that are 1/12 scale. Well, what were they? Were they supposed to be around 1/12 scale? Like, I know they did a Charizard. Did three others that I was aware of at the time, but I can't remember their names because I just didn't get into Pokemon that much. I get my sister Pikachu stuff almost every year for Christmas, but I know that one. I know Charizard. I know Squirtle. And I don't know much beyond that, except Apom, because Apom's a monkey. Now, I keep pushing buttons. Not like you guys can't tell when I keep looking down at the screen. John Wick. Deadpool for sure. I wonder about John Wick. That was Skew Raider's suggestion here. I wonder. And who does? Mafex did a couple John Wicks, right? Are any of those any good? And did anybody else do some? Because having a Keanu on the shelf would be kind of key. Man, I am so not a professional. Does that say? That does not. That does. That does say Cher. And you know what? You're right. I can't argue it. She is a big time pop culture type person. But then that also brings into account characters like a Dolly Parton which is funny to sit here and say that right now when Cher's getting all upset at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, potentially because I think Dolly Parton got inducted into it. So it's fun to put those two together. Maybe put up a death battle scene with them if I've got them. Okay. Here you got Star Trek is still going. That's true. That's true. And who out of Star Trek? I know Captain Kirk. I know Spock. I know Picard. Beyond those, maybe McCoy. But beyond those, who do you guys think are some big time characters that probably transcend a little bit, that everybody knows who they are? Whew, you guys are going. I love it. We have conversation, people. Music and music groups, Guardians of the Galaxy soundtracks. Man, I love those soundtracks. Who would be? Like Elton John. I know NECA did an Elton John. There's the Beatles. There's the Rolling Stones. There's Elvis Presley. There's Chuck Berry. Man, you could get into, oh my gosh, Louis Armstrong, Billie Holiday. You could get into a lot of characters if they did that musical styling thing. I know Cell was doing stand-up comics, and I think that's a great idea. I just wish the figures were a little better. I want the figures to be a little better. But stand-up comedy characters, that would be so much fun. And that's something else too. What about just actors in general, like John Belushi, Marlon Brando, those kinds of things. Sidney Poitier. That's right. I said it right. I know what's up. See, groups from the 70s, the X-Men. Yeah. I talked a little bit about the comic stuff. Like beyond Wolverine, do you think anything from the X-Men has really transcended pop culture? Do you think anybody really knows? I mean, we know Deadpool, but he's not. I guess if I'm going to get technical here, let's just say all the mutants when it comes to Marvel. I still think Wolverine might be the only one. Well, okay, he and Deadpool because of Ryan Reynolds recently. I think those are the only two mutants to really populate pop culture. Man, that's a lot of pop. But again, if you think I'm wrong, let me know and let's discuss the figures. When it comes to Wolverine and Deadpool, I know there's a lot of good figures of both of them. Of course, I'm going to prefer Mafex when it comes to them. See, 80s they made. Yep. Okay. That's where Alvin and the Chipmunks ideal, huh? But are they ideal figures? Ha ha! I should stop talking. But I can't because I'm doing a live stream. All right. So much. I love it. I'm going to have to skip some. Okay, the toy company. That's what I thought you meant. Okay, let's see. Skeletor for sure. Yeah, Skeletor. I see that skewer because he's the meme for sure. I'm in. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. That's you, Harry. Okay. Yeah, Skeletor for sure needs to be go. Tragic Hero. Mezco Toys did a John Wick. That's right. Would anybody, so what's the comparison there between the Mezco version and the Moffat version? Does anybody have both? I just want to know what's the good stuff. Wait for it. Hit the music. Whew, I pulled it off. Go me. Okay. Man, I'm falling behind. I feel like Robo last night, except, did anybody catch that live stream with Robo? Man, there were tons of people checking that out. Let's see. Anime is huge from Akira onward, Ninja Scroll, Dragon Ball Z, Star Trek, Star Wars, the Flash Gordon movie. The Flash Gordon movie. I don't even know about the Flash Gordon movie, but I've heard the name. Let's see. I figured Dragon Ball Z makes it. Here's a question, guys, and I'm going to throw this out there, and then I'm going to try and catch up in the chat before I see the answers. What is the absolute, bar none, best black-haired Goku on the market? I assume it's going to come from SH Figuarts, but I want to know, I feel like I should have a Goku, at least. Are there any other Dragon Ball characters that I should have if we're talking just strictly from a pop culture standpoint? But I do think I should have a Goku. So let me know what the black-haired version of Goku is. And I'm going to try and catch up here until I see those answers. All right. Yep, Harry, I know that Mofex did a John Wick. Let's see. That's Skew Raider, you got me, man. I did ask the 70s. Let's see. Tons of stuff. Yep. Harry Worf. Ooh. I wonder, what's everybody think about Worf? You know what? Don't answer that until you've answered Goku. But what does everybody think about Worf in pop culture? Okay. Let's keep going here. Tragic Hero, what do you have? Also, hello. Here for the toy photography. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Tragic Hero. I appreciate that, man. I'll post up what I shot for today here a little later. But it was fun. Spoiler alert, it is Chester Cheetah. He was my newest figure. Here's another question, guys. I think Harry brought it up before, but he was saying like a toy photography live stream, like kind of a tutorial. How do you think that could work? Like, I'm thinking maybe a cell phone thing where I have images, like I go through and I just do it kind of on my own. And then I have images showing what I did using my screen from my phone. So you guys can actually see, okay, you know, what all the adjustments were. I can explain it as we go along. And anyway, yeah, what do you guys think of that? Because I've been trying to come up with an idea for that after Harry suggested. Let's see. Shakiro, I hope they come out with 80s punk and new wave toys. Who would be some of the iconic, well, I hate using the word iconic. Who would be some of those mainstays in pop culture from the 80s? Because I'm trying to think. I wasn't into the punk and new wave stuff. My dad was a musician, and he got to the point where, I mean, he basically decided that 80s music wasn't music, and I grew up with that. So I didn't hear a lot of 80s music growing up, but as I've listened to the 80s and the 90s, I've kind of tended to agree with them. Apparently I'm a music snob, but there's always something in every decade that really transcends things. And so I'm just curious, who are the icons? Because I need to know things. Let's see. Still trying to catch up. Hold on. Oh, dude, yes. Yes. A David Bowie for sure. That's something that is necessary. Okay. See me typing fast here. I'm not typing fast. I'm not doing anything fast. I'm showing off because I don't have the glasses. Those stand-up comic figures could be better. Dude, yes, Skew Raider. Totally. I want the Blues Brothers. The Blues Brothers, I still have that poster hanging up. I love that movie. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. Let's see. Oh, yeah, Fiend. You definitely need the Fiend. Okay. All right. And I think he does it because everybody recognizes that dude, even if they don't know why. Let's see. You sell Vegeta, huh? Okay, I'll take your word for it. I mean, Goku does need an adversary, and Vegeta is an adversary, right? Like, I remember watching a lot of this when I was younger, but I didn't keep up well because it was like once you missed one, you were basically hosed. Skew Raider, there's third party on which it's even better. 5K toys, hold them. Let's see, 2-pack set with soft goods and Donnie Yen 112, not out yet. Okay, I'll have to look into that. Definitely, because I do think John Wick, the more I think about it, John Wick probably qualifies. Tragic Hero, I think Baby Goku would be the one I'd get, but that's just me. Okay. Is Baby Goku, though, do you think he's a better figure than the regular black-haired Gokus? Because when I said the black-haired Gokus, I wasn't even thinking about the fact that they've sold Baby Goku. So I'm curious about, I guess more so what the adult Goku figure would be. But which Baby Goku are you talking about? Because I know I've seen a couple, maybe it was Baby Gohan. I don't know. This is what I need to know. I need to catch my Dragon Ball Z. I mean, it's just one of those things I feel like I need to do. Let's see, from Mizco, John Wick. I think he's single jointed. Ah! Don't say that. Okay, Moff already. Moff X wins versus Mezco if that's the case. But then there's the 5K toys one we got to figure out. Skew Raider. Photo stream will be awesome. Approach is cool. Okay, cool. I wanted to figure out how to do that and how to do that in a way that would work for you guys. Tragic hero, The Cure, Dead Kennedy, Michael Jackson for sure, and I think The Cure too. I gotta look into the Dead Kennedys more. Let's see, doing okay. I'm kind of catching up. What do we have now? Cyndi Lauper, Madonna, Motley Crue. Motley Crue, Madonna for sure. Only because I lived through all that. Motley Crue was pretty big, but Madonna was almost transcendent at time. Cyndi Lauper was good. I think of those three, I think Madonna gets the win. But I don't know about if the others would be great suggestions for just overall culture. I'm not sure. Okay. Skew Raider, Prince, Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, David Bowie. Dude, I think all those. Oh, what have you done? Stevie Wonder for sure. I didn't even think about him. Oh, that's good. Okay. Now, so we've got, let me try and go to, let me do the whole share screen thing here. If I'm doing it right, let's see what we got. Window, I believe. Huh, I did not do it right. Well, that's all right. We'll figure it out a little later. Okay. What do you have now? Bands too. People love music. People do love music. It's one of those things that will never die. I can see film dying before music does. I mean, I guess technically at this point, film's already dead. Everything's on digital now, I assume. All right. Now, what other? Let's see. I just keep trying to come up with stuff that's perfect. Spaded one McDysentery. Giggity. Are we thinking? Oh, does he count? Peter Griffin, maybe. Maybe it's more Stewie and Brian. Oh my goodness, why can't I remember? Okay, what is the giggity guy's name? Why I'm thinking Boomhauer, but that's King of the Hill. Giggity, 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 giggity. Oh my goodness, I'm totally losing my mind. Basically, I think because I can't remember that dude's name. And as soon as you say it, I'm going to be like, oh yeah, duh, that's exactly who it is. Film is dead. I mean, movies have been far better in the past. Hopefully, they still pick stuff up. I still kind of want to see Godzilla -1. I've heard that that's great. So that might be something to check out. And I haven't seen Oppenheimer. And I am curious about the Barbie movie. Just because it did so well, I might check that out just to see. But really, I've never seen anything that's Godzilla. And since so many people are saying -1 is so good, I keep thinking, maybe I should just see -1 and be done with it. Speaking of Godzilla, I would say transcends pop culture. Everybody knows who that dude is. Okay. Spaded one. My life won't be complete till I see a NECA line of surf ninjas with Leslie Nielsen in full samurai armor. What? What was this from? Was it a real thing? Are you making things up? Because even if you are, that sounds like something I'd love to see. I'd basically take any Leslie Nielsen figure. He is necessary. And what do we think of Airplane? Like, does Airplane transcend pop culture? I'm thinking maybe Leslie Nielsen on his own, looking like he did an Airplane, just because, and don't call me Shirley, is something that everybody's heard. So I think he might make it. Let's see. What do we have from the people? Skew Raider. Phil Collins with drum set and Crockett and Tubbs, all soft goods 3-pack. Also, let's see. James Olmos Costello set. What? James, isn't that, what's his name? Costello. I don't remember Miami Vice. I knew Crockett and Tubbs as soon as I saw those names. I knew that before Miami Vice. But is Edward, what's his name? Isn't his name Edward James Olmos? Was his character Costello? That would be a pretty fun set. It definitely transcended in the 80s, but is it something that, say, people in their teens and 20s know today? I know. I want those super, if my mom knows who they are, I want them. And she might even recognize Goku. She would definitely recognize Pichu. And she'd recognize Godzilla. Well, wasn't fast enough to be a professional there. Tragic. Quagmire. Why could I not come up with Quagmire? Oh, oi. Meg. They definitely should not make a Meg figure. Because she doesn't get any respect anyway. That would be kind of a funny joke. Just make a Family Guy line. Just don't make Meg. Ski Rager, Quagmire, yep, Family Guy for sure. The Boondocks, Fat Albert, The Simpsons. The Simpsons out of that list for sure. I don't know that with Bill Cosby stuff, I don't know that anybody's going to be tackling Fat Albert anytime soon. Family Guy, yeah, the Boondocks. Is the Boondocks still even on? That didn't last very long, did it? Or am I just completely out of touch? Family Guy, I think, has been around long enough where a lot of people know what that is. So maybe getting Stewie and Brian in there would be good times. For sure. Let's see. There are a few gems, but they don't get the hype they should. I wonder... Yeah, and if they don't get a whole lot of hype, people aren't going to know who they are, so I've got to figure out... This is the thing. Let's see. Yeah, man. I think that Godzilla, everybody keeps talking about how great it is. And it's great for multiple reasons. I guess the story is actually really good, which there haven't been great stories that I've seen, at least recently in Hollywood. But they say that this story is phenomenal. But I'd have to read the movie, and I'm usually against that. But since everybody's talking about how great it is, I might have to do it. They also say it was made very cheaply compared to a lot of other big budget blockbusters that come out in the US. And so it made its money back before it even came over here, it sounds like. So yeah, I mean, from a business standpoint, Godzilla crushes it, even if it didn't crush it from a story standpoint, which from what I understand, it does. Spademan, oh boy, you've never seen Surf Ninjas. Ernie Reyes Jr. He was the villain? Oh, okay. Was he Leslie Nielsen style in that though? Like, was he Frank Drebin or Dude on Airplane style when he was in that? Because yeah, I can see. Ooh, and Ernie Reyes Jr. obviously is a big deal, at least from like the 80s and the 90s. Oh man, yeah, I need to know more. Yeah. This is what I'm talking about, guys. I'm a bad nerd. I haven't seen things like Surf Ninjas. And in fact, like I said, I actually did almost see RoboCop, which is crazy for me. Skew Ready. Yeah, -1 is good. Kaijus, King Kong, Godzilla, Gamera, Mothra, Ultra 7. Airplane does transcend. Leslie Nielsen in a suit, various accessories. Yeah, that'd be sweet. We need a Leslie Nielsen. How weird is that? That nobody has provided us with a Leslie Nielsen. And at this point, I would say, I don't know that any 6-inch company would do it. I think it would have to be NECA. And if NECA did it, I would do it. I would totally go in because I love NECA's figures. The more I see of that stuff, the more I kind of want to expand a little more into NECA beyond the Turtles, just because, like, I saw Ghostface today, and I thought Ghostface looked really cool. And the little trick-or-treat guy, I've never even seen the movie. I did see Scream, but I haven't seen the trick-or-treat dude, and I think that thing looks awesome. So there's all kinds of good stuff. Yeah, and King Kong for sure. Oh, hang on. My professionalism knows no bounds. See, it's classic. The Boondocks. Watch and you'll see how funny it is. It lasts. It has a following from Adult Swim. I remember seeing some of the Boondocks, but that's what I'm wondering is how many people still remember the Boondocks and how many people, like today, say in their 20s, even know it was ever a thing. Because is Adult Swim even a thing anymore? I mean, I remember checking that out. That's where I started watching, I think it was Gundam Wing Zero or whatever. Let's see. See, then I will have to watch. Yep. Okay. We have Spaded One, full-on Leslie Nielsen action. It's quite brilliant. Ernie Reyes Sr. is in it as well. I'm gonna have to. You know what? Here's what's gonna tick off a lot of people. I might watch Surf Ninjas before I watch RoboCop, simply because Leslie Nielsen is in it, and that dude is one of the funniest dudes that's ever walked the earth. I would watch pretty much anything with that guy. Okay, Screwwriter. Mr. Bean has a figure coming out. Danger Mouse has a line out from the Haswares. Count Duckula is coming out. Third party next year, first quarter. Benny Hill and ladies. A Benny Hill with ladies set. That is so ridiculous. I have to keep my eyes out for it, because that's one of those things. My dad found Benny Hill hilarious, and it drove Mom crazy. Hi, Mom, if you're watching. So I would have to get it just because of that, and keep it in full display at my place. So whenever Mom came up to visit, I'd be like, hey, Mom, look, and have like bright neon lights around it. And it's the only thing that's set up that way. And I could just be like, it's my Benny Hill collection. And this is why, you know, I like pushing buttons. It's good times. It's fun for me. I don't know. The Benny Hill thing would be hilarious. I think Monty Python transcends as well. I don't know much about Danger Mouse, but I think Mr. Bean probably does it, because even if people don't necessarily know who Mr. Bean is and they haven't seen that stuff, they know that face. And I did see that figure's coming out. His cloth goods look just a little big for him, but he's such a ridiculous character and figure, it might work. So we'll see. We'll see. I did see that. Does Monty Python have any figures out? Curious about that, because I think like a John Cleese would be great, and Eric Idle. And I'm not talking Retgar. It needs to actually be a Eric Idle. All right, let's see. MF Doom has a lot of fans that watch the Boondock. Let's see, Mad Lib, J Dillon music groups, performers too. Okay. So maybe, yeah, I'll check it. I'll check. Has anybody made a Boondocks line? Like, that's kind of where my curiosity is I want to know who's done this stuff, like what the good stuff is. There's an ideal, like you brought up the ideal Alvin and the Chipmunks line. Are they good figures? Or because they were way back when, are they kind of just, they're okay? These are the things I'm curious about, the things I'm trying to figure out. I really want great figures. And I saw, sorry about that, I saw a post by Vern Rants on Twitter from Oakhurst Studios. At least that's his name on there. I probably should check some more stuff out. But he had gone to Ross, and he found some of the Jada Toys Universal Monsters figures at Ross. He didn't show what the prices were, and he did. I just didn't notice it. And so right away, I looked up where there was a Ross for me. I didn't think I had one. There's one like 1.5 miles away, and there's just a few lights, and it's a fast few lights. Like, it's not like I have to go 20 miles an hour and there's a light on every block. I can just keep going, and it's awesome. So I went to that Ross, and they had closed down, basically saying, hey, we'll be back. So I'm sure there's some kind of crazy modeling going on, but I'm like, no, because I would have gone nuts for the Universal Monsters Jada Toys, especially if I could have found them for like $5 or $6 a piece. Oh, okay, what do we have now? Let's see. Add the yakety sax music for the Benny Hill figure setup. Monty Python had 1/6 figures from Sideshow. No line. Let's see, they need to talk to us like you're doing. There's plenty of lines to make. There's a lot of lines to make, but how profitable are they? That's why I'm talking like, I'm talking pop culture. I'm talking things that everybody would recognize, because the more everybody can recognize it, the more likely it is to sell. So that's what I mean, kind of, is like, who's made the big ones? Like, right now, I know NECA made Predator, and I don't see anybody else making a Predator figure. So which is the best Predator figure? And which one is the most, like the most well known? Would it be the one from the first movie? Because if so, there's a Jungle Hunter at a store near me that I might want to grab. So I'm curious about that. And does Predator qualify? I think he does. I think Alien qualifies, like you guys brought up earlier. So, and RoboCop, there's so much stuff that did come out in the 80s that people are using again, that a lot of that is transcendent just because there's a lot of imagination that people aren't able to use, it seems, anymore. So they keep recycling the stuff from the 80s because it was so rad. And for that reason I talked about earlier, the fact that all our attention was on those few things, so they know they have a captive audience. And then later on, as there was more entertainment, there's less of a captive audience for each property because there's so much more. It was split. And like where all of us, like I said earlier, watch G.I. Joe and Transformers, maybe kids today, that's not the same thing. Or maybe Paw Patrol. Maybe Paw Patrol is one that counts. Because I feel like that sometimes gets its own aisle. Yeah, I don't know. I'm all over the place. But yes, I would totally add the Yakety Sax music or Benny Hill. Be like, hey, Mom, we're going to post this up. And it's always going to play when you walk in. In fact, I'm going to set your ringtone to that. Oh, if she's watching, I'm in trouble. Spaded one. Those monsters are $8.99. Man, $8.99 versus $25. I would totally do it. But like I said, my stinking Ross, like I looked inside, they had just one of those plastic signs that basically said, hey guys, we're coming soon. We'll be back soon or whatever. And when you look inside the windows, like there's not even a huge signage on the building. And when you look inside the windows, you can see it was either Ross before and they're just totally remodeling, or it was just a dumpster fire and somehow Ross already made it into the Google search. So I don't know. But yeah, I would totally buy those for $9 a piece. I want a lot of the Jada stuff just because I love what June's doing with those lines. Let's see. I want to find them back. Yep, I do too. I need to. But, and they're available. It's not like they're hard to find. They're all on Amazon, but they're kind of an experiment. I don't know how bad I want to pay full price. And like, there's a couple that are $1 or $2 off full price. But, you know, Harry, how many of these figures mentioned would be usable for photography? Every figure is usable for photography, Harry. I would even put an Alvin and the Chipmunks figure up there and take pictures. Though they'd probably be hanging out with Chester. Chester would probably try to be getting him hooked on Cheetos so he could make a lot more money. I don't know. Maybe. That would be fun. But see, like I'm getting to the point where, as much of a figure snob as I am for articulation and all these things, I want to add more color and I want to add just more insanity to the collection. That's one of the reasons I'm so stoked about the Turtles Grayskull line. That's why I'm looking more at the Motu Filmation or cartoon line from the Masters of the Universe, which is redundant because I just said Motu. But yeah, that's why I'm doing that stuff, is these are just wacky designs, things that are crazy. It's why I'm looking at Stitch from Ultimates. It's why I still kind of consider Pinky and the Brain from Ultimates and all that stuff. It's just a little crazy. So that's kind of where my mind has been going lately. Not that I would ever back off on the other stuff because I love my Mofex and all that stuff way too much to do that. Whew. All right. Surf Ninjas will be awesome. Ernie Reyes Jr. from The Last Dragon as a figure. Bruce Leroy and Shoal Nuff 2-pack? Show Nuff 2-pack? Huh. I don't know these things. Make them in made-to-order runs. People definitely want the figures if they know about. But the thing, though, made-to-order is great, but what would the minimum order quantity be? Because if it was really low, you'd be paying out the nose for these figures, and how many people are going to go nuts for Surf Ninjas figures? I just don't know. So these are the questions, and this is why it's such a gamble to tackle a lot of properties from all these companies. It's why they play it safe. Specifically like a Hasbro and a Mattel, because they're publicly traded, they can't take risks, or the shareholders are going to lose money and then they'll be unhappy. So Hasbro and Mattel, in their situation, they're kind of stuck. They have to come out with new stuff or they're totally going to lose any potential for kids to really get into. But at the same time, if they keep gambling with new stuff, yeah, like I said, shareholders won't be happy. Not that I really care about that. Let's see. Keep trying to adjust the monitor. No love. No love from the monitor. See, tons would be meme worthy when combined in photography, especially with Deadpool. See, right now I don't have a red Deadpool, and I'm thinking Chester is going to serve that role until I get one. He's just going to be the goofy guy hanging out. Okay. Spaded one McDysentery. Oh boy, you've never seen The Last Dragon. That's a whole other rabbit hole. The Last Dragon, The Last Dragon. Have I not seen? Yeah, there's too many rabbit holes. What are the things I need to see? Obviously, I need to see RoboCop. I want to see Godzilla -1. I need to see Surf Ninjas because why not? Let's see. Enter Ramen and Jada Toys. Man, yeah, Ramen. I even wonder. Like Ace is a smart guy. Like he'll even sit there and not be sure he should make something. To be perfectly honest, I'm surprised he's making the A-Team van because how many people are really that hardcore when it comes to the A-Team? Now, I remember growing up, I watched the A-Team all the time. I thought it was great, but how many people our age are still into these things that would want to buy that kind of thing? I don't know. I'm just surprised that he went that route, but I'm also surprised that he went the route of the Ramen Racer, and that seems to have done well. So who knows? Maybe I don't have my finger on the pulse of things, which it's not my job to. So that's probably a good thing. I'm probably okay with that. How about figures from the internet memes? Dude, we need a Leroy Jenkins. Yep, I am with you on that. Here's another swig just because I can. But what was that would be funny to have like just a meme collection. But what did Leroy Jenkins look like? I remember seeing the video where he just rushes in and everybody's getting all mad at him. You almost want to set that up as a team. Like that would be hilarious. And leading the charge would be Leroy. That would be quality. I would love that, but I don't know how many other people would. Obviously, you and I would be fans. Let's see. See, I'd pay good money if J-Boys did an ambiguously gay duo 2-pack. The line even has built-in villains and vehicles. Man, where would Jada sell that? Like, I think it'd be hilarious as well. I would totally get in on those. But yeah, I don't know that you can't sell that at Walmart and Target. That would have to be like a Hot Topic, an FYE, and how many people would really get in on that? Like, how many people, specifically the car? Do you really think people would pay to buy that car? I'm not so sure. And am I even thinking, like, I know the animation. Now, I said that about car. Was it a plane? Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Would anybody want that particular vehicle in their place? But yeah, that was a funny sketch. I loved all those animated shorts. I thought those were great. Let's see. Let's see. It has to be done carefully, but when people think there's nothing left to make figure-wise, we'll pile it on them. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I don't know. I would not want to be somebody like in Ace's position. I feel like if you're in Hasbro's position or Mattel's position, a gamble isn't as much of a gamble because if they lose a few bucks on trying to develop a property that doesn't take off, that's fine. They just pull back and they stop making it. But it's also a little more of a gamble for them lately, at least as far as Hasbro is concerned, when they're so tied in with Disney across all kinds of lines, not just the action figure ones. And Disney stuff hasn't been as universally loved as it once was. And you know that's affecting sales. So maybe Hasbro is a little scared to gamble even a little bit. So who knows? Obviously, they've got plenty of problems over there. Let's see. Oh my, you guys are going crazy. I love it. This is where the fun's at. Nope. Got it. You're good. Okay. see. The you want the car? Let's see. No, sure, no, sure. I keep like there's all this dead airs and I'm clicking buttons. 5K Toys can make good figures too. Maybe a new company. 5K Toys, aren't they just a distributor? Like they don't actually make the figures, right? There's other companies that make them and then 5K sells them. I'm not sure. I know there's a lot of great stuff on 5K Toys. Okay, let's see. What do we have here from Tragic Hero? I want the van so I can make it into the Punisher van. Yeah, yeah, that would be sweet. I guess there is that. That van probably has multiple uses that it can be used for. Well, redundancy. That is why sometimes I'm not sure I should talk. All right. Blowing it up. It's a good night. All these mentioned are viable and hilarious. Great job, y'all. But that's what I'm wondering. How viable? Because keep in mind, we already balk at paying $25 for some figures. Now, granted, some of those figures we balk at paying $25 for just aren't good figures. But when you're looking at a really small run and probably not a lot of people that are going to go in on those small runs, what are you willing to pay for that? Like an ambiguously gay duo, for instance. Like you guys, like who was it that brought it up? Sorry, guys, my bad. I think that was Spaded One, but I'm not sure. But like that would be a crazy small run, and each figure would probably be like $50. Would people be willing to pay that? Especially when we've got so many collections that we already nuts for. And I'm just pulling $50 out of my you know what. It could be that would be more like $100 a figure. I don't know. Let's see. Yes, memes for the win. Excellent. Leroy Jenkins. Who else? And Skeletor. Like that's why I want that cartoon Skeletor is for the meme possibilities. That just makes me happy. Spaded One, or even just a line of classic SNL characters like the Ladies Man, the Mary Catherine Gallagher, or Two Wild and Crazy Guys. They did, let's see, what was it? They did a line, I can't remember what the company was, but they did some SNL characters. And I'm trying to think, I think Mary Catherine Gallagher might have been one of them. There was her, there was Nat X, which was a short run by Chris Rock. I thought it was hilarious, but I guess a lot of people didn't because it wasn't on too many times. But yeah, they did some of that stuff. The Wild and Crazy Guys were fun, but I don't know, do they transcend? Does Mary Catherine Gallagher do it? I'm not sure. The Ladies Man I always thought was funny, but I never watched the movie because I wasn't sure I could take that sketch in that long a time frame. I'm like, Tim Meadows, you're a funny dude, but I don't know that I could watch The Ladies Man for that long. Let's see. Online changes the rules for figure offerings, get the word out, and gauge support. That's true. That's true. And that's why it's kind of like, okay, let's just throw this idea out and see. And it can change the game, but how many people will say things like, oh man, I'd totally be in on that, but then other stuff comes out that changes their priority. For instance, I thought the Giant Man HasLab was a really good figure, and I would have put money down for it, except I decided I was going to hold off and get the mutt for whenever Ramen Toys releases that. So priorities shift. So you got to take all that stuff into account too. It's kind of crazy. I've had that cough coming for about an hour, it feels like. All right, what do we have here? Bread Van from Ramen might come in different solid black flavor. Ace likes to offer what we are looking for. I hope so. Punisher Van is awesome, like A-Team. Yep. Yep, maybe, yeah, maybe Ace, maybe you guys don't even need to do custom work to make the Punisher Van, except maybe putting gun rack on the back. Harry's Saturday Night Live samurai figure. See, that would cover my need for John Belushi as well. That would be pretty awesome. But I wonder, see, this is where I keep getting stuck. Like, what exactly constitutes the whole pop culture thing? Like, what all gets there? Like, SNL is such a juggernaut. You almost wonder, should it be character specific or should it be the people? Like, imagine just a Chris Farley action figure. Like, it's just straight Chris Farley. Maybe he's just wearing regular stuff. Maybe there's a stain on his shirt just because of the type of characters he used to play. But would it be character specific? Because maybe the characters they play can transcend things. But, or maybe, you know what, Chris Farley could be this guy, Matt Foley, living in a van down by the river. He could be that guy. But yeah, would SNL characters, would the actors be better to put in there than, say, the actual characters themselves? I don't know. I'm kind of trouble would that be to get those likenesses. That would be something that would add to the cost for sure. LBZ, yeah, 5K Toys are the middleman retailer. That's what I thought. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Let's see. Oh, so much talking. He's like typing on bone. Got it. You're good. You're good, man. Don't even worry about it. And I love the stuff that Ace is putting out there, by the way. That's why I held off. Let's see, Jada must make them for us to get the $25 price point. See, but Jada, can they? I don't know. This is the stuff that's always hard for me. But Jada, I didn't like when June said they're going to make another line, because I don't want his attention to be that divided, because so far everything they've made has been incredible. See, I pay $100 plus for many of my figures now. That's fair. But then you pay $100 plus for your figures that are licensed, that are really well known, that are done very well. Like, it might be that $100 figures of like a character that a lot of people wouldn't be into would be like 5 POA. These are the considerations we have that I just don't know enough about. Drives me crazy. I wish I knew more about the industry, honestly. But it's just like, I can get it right now from a simple kind of just overall business metric, I guess. See, the Three Amigos and El Guapo set. Mr. Robinson, Hans and Franz, Wayne's World. SNL has tons of great peeps to make. I agree, and I would go nuts for those sets. I just don't know that other ones would. Like, imagine a Dana Carvey chopping broccoli set. Like, he's sitting there, there's the piano, and who was it? Was it Sigourney Weaver that was in that sketch? And just like get that set. I think that would be hilarious. But there's probably like 3 people in the world that would buy that. Oh, so much button pushing. And I'm not even trying to be a jerk. I'm just actually literally trying to push buttons. Hear me out. Buffy the Vampire Slayer figures, but like the original movie. I remember seeing some of the series. I don't think I ever saw the original movie. Who was Buffy in the original movie? Because that's going to be one of those things that has that cult following, like how Motu, like Mattel, put together just figures from the Masters of the Universe movie that came out. I bet that would do okay in that similar vein if somebody were willing to gamble. Let's see. Pushing the buttons. Bork, bork, bork. That's right. We went Swedish Chef. By the way, yeah, somebody brought up the Muppets. Totally. Kermit and Miss Piggy. Animal, probably. Anyway, let's see. We'll have to get pricing down and committed support for a lot of these. That's what I'm saying, is you don't know. It's almost like, as customers, in order to see some stuff happen, we're almost going to have to start signing contracts, because like my tastes always seem to be jumping around. Like I said, I would have been in on Giant Man, and had I heard last year we're making a Giant Man, I might have thought, well, they better wow me. And they did. I thought it was a really good offering. But then when the Musk was announced and it sounded like all that was going down, I'm like, yeah, I'm saving up for the Musk, because for photography, that's going to be far more impressive for me anyway. Spaded one. Buddy, if NECA can profit off coming out of our shells, turtles, and golden girls, then the brakes fell off this train a long time ago. Anything is possible. But did they profit off Golden Girls? See, TMNT, that's cheating, because we know that they'll make money off of whatever TMNT thing they throw out there. I am curious, though, if they really made money off Golden Girls. Like, did they make a set of Golden Girls and then start making just a bunch of Golden Girls merchandise because it did so well? I don't know these things, but I do think that the Turtles thing, it's just cheating. We know that they'll go nuts for the Turtles stuff. or the people will go nuts for the turtles stuff. Okay, what have we here? Our memories are the source of pop culture. Saturday Night Samurai is fire. Blues Brothers 2 definitely would sell. See, I think I would love the samurai. Like, I love old school SNL through about was it early 2000s or so that I really watched. I felt like when comedy started turning really political, like for SNL and all that stuff, it just wasn't as funny to me. Like, I heard a comedian saying basically that political comedy is cheap comedy. It's not actually good stuff for the most part. And so for me, who doesn't really get into politics all that much, I used to, then I realized it was futile for me anyway. But I find it funny, and it seemed around like mid 2000s or the aughts or somewhere in there, SNL got really political, and so I kind of just stopped watching. But the stuff from the early days all the way up to sometime early 2000s, I would probably go nuts for all of it, specifically the Blues Brothers. And I think those looks probably are those kinds of things that transcend too. I think that people, and by the way, the Blues Brothers were made, weren't they? No, guys, because I would go nuts for some Blues Brothers figures. Harry Mezco has put out 3 types of Popeye figures that are really sought after with no promotion. I think if it's cool, it will sell. I do wonder about that. I did see the Popeye figures, and they do look really good. Cool doesn't always get it done, though. So Popeye, that must show that Popeye's got a pretty good pop culture following. Maybe Popeye then. Maybe I need a Mezco Popeye. Although I think I'd probably more lean towards Boss Fight, because that's how I think of Popeye, is more the animated version. Let's see. You guys are crushing it tonight. Thank you. I appreciate everybody coming on and just trying to figure this stuff out. Mezco has me bent over. Man, I'm still avoiding Mezco. Like I've said in the past, I don't necessarily like their business practices, but when their stuff does show up in store, I start looking at it like, oh man, I kind of want to grab that. Like the Fantastic Four set. If it weren't this time of year and I weren't saving up for other things, I really think I'd like that Fantastic Four set, with the exception of Sue. But overall, like that's the best thing ever. That's the best read ever. I even think Johnny's pretty good. So yeah, I gotta be careful with Mezco. I can see me going down a really rough rabbit hole if I get into that. Let's see. Yep, but are usually worth it if done correctly. Looking around you, Mayfix. Yeah. By the way, I just said Mayfix. I like saying Mayfix because it sounds like what the line deserves. It sounds mighty, and Mayfix sounds like it's just mighty. And for me, it's a mighty action figure line, but people keep saying Mafex, except Veebs. I heard Veebs say once he lived in Japan, and he said the way the characters are situated in the word, he said, honestly, I couldn't tell you how to pronounce it, so I just say Metacom. And I kind of like that idea as well. Let's see. I feel like there's so much dead air when I'm looking up these comments. How far behind are we? Let's see. They're with you. All right. We have agreeances. I like agreeances. I can do that. Fred Durst figure, anybody? Let's see. Christy Swanson. That's right. I knew I would recognize the name once you said it. I could see her in my head. I think that line would actually do it. I think that'd pull it off. People seem pretty nuts for Buffy. Okay. La-di-da-da-da. I took the L. We have Carrick. What else you got for me? Also, 100% Frieza. What are your thoughts? Frieza. Does Frieza count? Would we say that Frieza, like, to me, the only person that really transcends from Dragon Ball Z is Goku. What do you guys think? Because you likely all know Dragon Ball Z more than I do. So this is the third character that's been brought up. People have brought up Vegeta, and now Frieza's been brought up. And I saw a Frieza today, by the way, and I considered grabbing it. But I don't know. Would you say those 3 are pop culture worthy? I know Goku is. What about Vegeta and Frieza? I'd like to know. Because really, I want to kind of build a pop culture collection a little bit because I want this channel to appeal to more people, but while still keeping the action figure photography focus for you guys, because I don't want this channel to be totally unrecognizable for all of you. I fell in love with their G.I. Joe line and some of the other Mezco figs. Solomon Kane, Conan, and Destro are one of the best figures I held. I love the look of their Conan, but I don't know Solomon Kane. I'm trying to remember. I'm sure I've seen it. I've been keeping up with this stuff for quite a while, and I think their Conan looked incredible. Destro, I've heard very good things about too, and Roadblock, people are going nuts for. Okay, I'm trying to think. Should I have like a theme song when I'm clicking buttons so it's not dead air? See, Chopping Broccoli said, Dana Carvey, Michael J. Fox elevator set when they kept singing Family Ties song to him. Oh, yep, making copies. Rob Schneider. I still think that might be the biggest one he did, biggest thing, except maybe in The Water Boy. You can do it. All right, Harry. Okay, I love it. You guys keep chatting with each other too. I'm good with that. I don't know why I just went into voices. I'm picking up Dark Wolf from Frazetta, looking forward to the rest of the Fire and Ice, or of Fire and Ice. What is, let's see, I know that there's a Frazetta line. Is Fire and Ice a line that's called? Because I don't know, and I love Frazetta's work too. So this is one of those things that you feel like there's so many lines and so many great things to collect. That's another problem. Solomon Kane. Does he make it? Does he make it? I've heard the name, so I'm sure he does. BZ. I liked SNL until Will Ferrell left. Then it got worse. Yeah, Will Ferrell, you know, for a long time, I didn't understand it. I was like, is this guy really all that funny? But he did enough stuff that I thought, okay, I'll give it to him. Like, I still go back to the old Jeopardy sketches. I loved the old Jeopardy sketches. Those were so good. So good. You suck, Trebek. Believe me, I can do a better Sean Connery than that, or a better Daryl Hammond as Sean Connery. See, maybe when 3D printing gets there, or base bodies and special made soft goods sets and heads like Marauders for 112 might help us get a lot of these wants if made in bulk. There's a waveform Voltron. Tell me more about Voltron. And I think Voltron might actually qualify too. But I don't want to get a huge Voltron. That would be bad. My wallet would be like, hey, Dave, I kill you now. Tragic Hero. Okay, let's see here. We're jumping. Yes, leading, I'm dogging. Like me, I'm walking. Yeah, they're pop worthy. All right. I gotta figure out who the best people making this stuff. Like right now, I feel like NECA, Mezco. Let's see. Okay. Push the button, Dave. All right, Fire and Ice's animated movie in Frazetta style. Oh, really? I might need to check that out. That would be cool. So, okay, who are the best? I'd say the best companies right now making this stuff as far as pop culture are probably Mezco. I think if we talk comics, I think obviously, well, I mean, you know me. Obviously, I'm going to say Mofex. But Mezco for sure. I think NECA kills it with their sculpts, with their detail. If NECA stepped up their articulation, they'd be nearly unbeatable. What else do we have? I was thinking of just trying to come up with other stuff, other characters. And I don't know. I think we've touched on it. Oh, Marilyn Monroe. That person is definitely pop culture worthy. So much. I must know. Why do I hit show and then it goes away? Oh, great. Googly moogly. I just lost all the things. All right. Let's see. Where are we at? That Red Sonja's Fire. There's a Fire and Ice line from Frazetta Girls Company. First figure is Dark Wolf. BTS now. Fire figure, like they said. Check it out. Yeah, okay. I'll check it out. because I'm curious about that whole line, honestly. But it's like, man, there's so much. Where do I spend the money? Let's see. Oh, it's on the YouTube for free. I do like that price. That's good stuff. And that's something else. I suppose Conan. I should have a Conan. Now that I'm talking pop culture, yeah, I shouldn't have missed out on the Conan. I wonder if King Conan is still available. But is King Conan the most recognizable pop culture style way to go? Or are Frazetta's girls making a Conan? There's so much I need to know. I need to learn. I need to get to know this stuff. It's like I don't do anything that has to do with these figures. And then confusion happens, and people realize, hey, that ignorant guy that's on the YouTubes, he actually is that guy. Let's see. New companies popping up every year. Fresh Monkey Fiction, Savage Crucible, Spiro Toys, Frazetta Girls, tons more. That's true. And I want to see what Fresh Monkey Fiction's up to. And they're making a Dracula. So I guess that's technically a pop culture type character. That'd be good stuff. I know, who was it? I heard somebody talking the other day. It might have been Big Nerdy. They were talking about basically 3-0, and 3-0 said the best thing they ever did, because they were trying to make a lot of independent lines, like of characters they never, or that people had never heard of. And they said the best thing they ever did was get into licensing. And 3-0's who made my figure of the year last year, that Optimus Prime, the MDLX. And so I do wonder about the longevity of lines like Fresh Monkey Fiction, Savage Crucible, and AWOC, and all that stuff, just because they're introducing new lore. Like, that's one thing that Vala, I think, is doing right with Action Force, is he is introducing new lore with his figures. And these, I think AWOC is doing that as well. And I know that when it comes to Fresh Fiction Monster Force, they're doing it. But how popular is it going to be outside of us? Like, you almost need entertainment out there these days. Otherwise, people will never hear of it. Kids aren't into action figures, probably because people aren't making stuff necessarily that caters to them, because there's no entertainment out there that's targeting kids anymore. And one thing that I'm very curious about, a little bit anyway, is how did they come to the decisions? How did smaller companies end up pulling it off? I mean, we all know who Animal Warriors of the Kingdom is. We all know about Savage Crucible, Fresh Monkey Fiction, and I forgot about the Frazetta Girls, but yeah, I knew about that too. You wonder, at least with the Frazetta Girls, they're using characters that people have heard of, styles they've heard of. With the others, how much longevity is there really? Like, Fresh Monkey Fiction doing Santa Claus and all that stuff, that makes sense. Like, sticking with the holiday theme stuff, that makes all kinds of sense. And I think their Monster Force stuff looks incredible, but am I going to be the guy that really jumps in on that line because I'm already collecting other lines? And that's where it gets tricky, is generally nostalgia has the pull, where these new properties usually don't, at least out in the masses. We all look at them and say, these things are sweet, but who else is going to hear about them except action figure fans? And that's where media needs to happen. And I don't see much media happening, although this Fire and Ice, clearly somebody's making a push. So I need to look that up. But yeah, it just seems to me like even more so today, the normal media is kind of important. Harry Mezco, Conan, or nothing. Yeah, that's kind of what I think. I wonder how I should have gotten him when he was available, and I was not wise. But I don't think King Conan's the one. I think I need the real deal. Let's see. King Conan's still available at Hella Toys, different heads, soft goods, different looks. What do you guys think? Is King Conan well known enough, or should I go for like a regular Conan? Which one is the bigger deal? This is my curiosity. Oh, excuse me. Good Lord. It's like I shouldn't even talk on these things. How many times have I said tonight? See, other places too. Just the last place I saw King Conan. Okay. Yeah, I know that he was available at EE for a while. I don't know if he still is. Just haven't looked into it. Mezco and Frazetta Girls teamed up for Conan the Destroyer. King Conan is just Mezco. Super 7 did the Arnold's movie version, but they look goofy. Yeah, I feel bad about Super 7 because I don't get into much of that just because they don't move much and they're supposed to be action figures. And so, yeah, like I toyed with the idea of getting into their Turtles line a little bit because I love the Playmates line way back when and like the upscale idea behind it. But everybody talks about how the quality's inconsistent, how the Turtles have hips that are insanely loose and the legs don't stay still. I gotta bite the bullet and just try it and see what happens, I guess. I love Fire and Ice. All right, I'll check it out. And now we've got Surfages, Fire and Ice, RoboCop, Godzilla -1. Basically, I need to purchase time. Let's see. Matthew Matson. I passed on King Conan, love the first two. Yeah, see, I'm thinking that the regular looking Conan is the one you want. If we're talking well known, you can buy 2 King Conans for the price of a new box. Awesome. Awesome. That's what I did not want to hear. Those are the kind of things that make me sad. A sad photo, Dave. See, Ski Raider, loose clothing sets for Conan 2. Dang it, guys. I need Conan now, don't I? Why? Why do I even do this? Because all that happens is you guys talk to me and you're like, hey, Dave, spend more money. Yeah. All righty. Good times. Okay, Mezco Conan for sure. We need, let's see, basically any comic. Terminator, guys, T-800. Who did the best T-800? Like, in my head, I'd probably go nuts for the Mafex one, but people are saying that there's no bicep swivel on one Terminator figures. Tell me more about that. Good Lord, I was trying to cough at the same time I was trying to speak. It gets messy. So yeah, tell me more about the best 1/12 scale Terminator. I know that NECA did one. It looks phenomenal. Chances are, just because it's me and I'm still enough of a snob with these kinds of things, when I know there's a 1/12 scale version that's by Mafex that probably has great articulation, I'm very much more likely to go that way than the NECA way. So I think there's been a couple Terminator figures by Mafex. So let me know which one it is that doesn't have the bicep cut, or if they both do, the Arnold ones I'm talking about specifically. Because I want to know these things. I feel like he is a guy that is definitely pop culture worthy. Let's see. First 2 Conans are most recognized. Ah, shoot. Way to go. Way to go, Photo Dave. Way to not jump in on those. Okay, what do we have here? I'm still getting King Conan. These Conans are a derivative from Robert E. Howard's version. So if you like his books, then King Conan is awesome. Okay. I have not read Robert E. Howard's version. So maybe I need to try and find the other 2 fairly cheaply. Anybody got a King Conan for about, or a regular Conan for about $20? Let's see. King Conan is 100 on BBTS. All right. Let's see. How about I just called up this? Yes. Anyways, I'm going to assume that's because I'm sitting here thinking, why you guys got to spend money? You're all a bunch of jerks. You're all just mean. Tragic Hero. The Hour of the Dragon is what King Conan is supposed to look like. Amazing book if you haven't read it. Okay, so we're up to, I need to read The Hour of the Dragon. I need to watch Surf Ninjas. I need to watch RoboCop. I need to watch Fire and Ice. And I need to watch Godzilla -1. Wonder how much money I'd have to spend to get a little extra time. Maybe, you know what? Who needs sleep? Maybe that's what I can do. I can just be like, I'm sacrificing sleep this time. We're going to go make some of this stuff happen. Harry, there's a third-party T-800 that is amazing. I can't remember by who. Okay. If you figure that out, I'll look that up as probably too, because I want to know. I want to know that. So I feel like that's the one. Like, he's necessary. So you spend more money. You all said aliens. Get Predator. NECA has tons of decent options. Mezco has made one and an Alien 2. Big pop culture ones there. That's what I wonder. Like, when you guys bring up Alien or Alien, that's something I still haven't seen. I guess I should just add that to the list. Are we talking Big Chap or the Queen? Like, what's though, if you were to pick one, which one would it be? Because I need to know. And I asked about Predator earlier. My assumption would be I'd want the Jungle Hunter from NECA because they made so many different ones, but that one I would think is the most well-known. But if I'm wrong, let me know, because there's so much that I'm so wrong about so often. Oh, good Lord, being the talking. Let's see. Audiobook is free on YouTube. You know what? That's not a bad idea, actually. I could sit there and while I'm shooting or listen to that, and maybe that's not a bad idea. That's the kind of thing. If only I could listen to Godzilla -1. Let's see. So much. Godzilla -1 should be on top of your list. Yeah, speaking of, all right. It takes the cake. Although people are going to get mad if I don't see RoboCop or Surf News or whatever else that we've talked about today. Oh dear. Hey, get to watching. Great stuff. Fun stuff. Okay. All right. Oh, jeez. Time to really start buying stock in every espresso company out there. See, Jungle Hunter and Big Chap for me. Came wrong. Okay. That's what I wondered. Those are the ones that I thought were the right ones to go for, but it just wasn't 100%. Because I know NECA's got a Queen alien out there too. I don't know if she's out yet, but I know she's been on pre-order for a while. Ooh, NECA is re-releasing the 1/12 Alien Queen. Man, is that... So I just bring that up and you fire that way. So it was done before. And I've noticed on the back of some of NECA's boxes, or even in their description for the products, a lot of their re-releases, they're saying they've got improved articulation and all that stuff. So now I'm just, oh Lord, I'm just curious. So yeah, I'm gonna need. Yeah, I think we've pretty much decided NECA for most everything, and Mezco for a few things when it comes to pop culture. And I think those two are the ones that are most likely to make a lot of the stuff that other companies won't make. Like Jada, everybody knows what the Universal monsters are, so they went for that. Then Street Fighter, a lot of people know what Street Fighter is, and they continue making games, so they went for that. Mega Man, I don't know when the last Mega Man game was, but I assume they continue going for that. Like they went for that partially because of the Capcom license and partially because Mega Man is a pretty well-known character. So I wonder how niche Jada would get. I don't know. I keep just chatting though as I'm trying to figure this stuff out, trying to work it out in my own pea brain. Raider, Big Chap, looking ones from sequels, Jungle Predator. Okay, cool. That's what I was thinking. I'm glad that I've done enough research on the important stuff, like, man, which NECA Predator's the one to get? When I take photos or when making dioramas, I listen to audiobooks. You can't go wrong with Conan audiobooks. Man, maybe that's an idea. I tend to listen to a lot of business stuff, which I know sounds insane. Like I listen to Gary Vaynerchuk. I listen to Alex Hormozy. I'll listen to some of the toy guys that are talking, like when there's a live stream and the topic interests me, I'll listen to that quite a bit. What else? I don't know. There's not tons that I find, but I do tend to listen. I do tend to go that way when it comes to this stuff. But maybe a little bit of entertainment isn't such a bad idea either. Oh my goodness. I pushed the button and the button did the thing. Things worked, guys. See, you can start with Big Chap, then get the Queen later if you were inclined or smitten for pics. See, that's the problem. She would be so good for photos. Now you're speaking my language and making me want to spend more money. Yeah. Ooh, the Big Chap, having the Queen. Like, so tell me a little bit more about aliens, guys. So is there one Big Chap, or is like Big Chap the main kind of alien and there's a bunch of those, and then there's just the alien Queen? Like I'm thinking of it in terms of an ant colony. Obviously the Queen is like the queen ant or whatever, and then the Big Chap is all the worker ants. Is that pretty much how it is? I'm just not sure. I don't know things. I think I've made that very clear. All right, Harry. David's going to have to start an OnlyFans to pay for all the toys. Man, who would pay for the OnlyFans? That's what I need to figure out. Not too many. Not too many. I have to be hilarious because there's no showing off my mighty anything because, yeah, I'd have to shave my legs maybe. Maybe that's it. I can start an OnlyFans when everybody watches me shave my legs. That'll be where the fun's at. Let's see. Audiobooks have always been awesome. When you hear R2D2 beeps, turn the page. They rock. Great suggestions. Yeah, that might be a really cool idea because I haven't listened to audiobooks in forever. I really do. Like a lot of what I'm doing with Toypixx and everything is coming from listening to a lot more of these business podcasts. See, I listen to Dave Ramsey in the morning. Nothing wrong with that, man. He knows what's up when it comes to the money. Alex Hormozi did an interview with Dave Ramsey. Let's see. I did see that. Or Stoic Quotes on YouTube. Great to listen to for Zen. What if I think I saw one of those. Like there's a guy that does, talks about Stoicism, and there were a lot of Marcus Aurelius quotes. And I had bought the book. Marcus Aurelius basically wrote down his day-to-day. It was kind of a diary. And then people later on put it into a book called Meditations. And I picked that up. And some of it's kind of the same. Like he kind of says a lot of the same stuff. But it's kind of like simple and deep at the same time. It's kind of cool. Harry, podcasts are my favorite background noise. Yep. Podcasts work. That's kind of the format that I tend to listen to. I like the stuff that's a little longer format just because it keeps my brain engaged, I guess. Big Chap is from Alien. Then afterwards, just drone aliens and the Queen. Okay, so Big Chap is specifically his own thing. Got it. All right, thanks. Let's see. I keep saying, let's see. Maybe I should have a... There it is. I'll just whistle Mayberry as I'm doing all this stuff. Big chaps are more recognized, in my humble opinion. Awesome. Most recognized. Yeah, that's definitely, I need to go for that. I do need a big chap, I think. Dang it. Die, wallet, die. Got it. Thank you, Harry. Okay, big chap's the first alien design. You guys are finding out just how bad a nerd I am. You have to watch Shane Gillis, OnlyFans dad. I've heard of Shane Gillis. I haven't seen any of his stand-up, though. I thought I got rid of Netflix, but I didn't. And now I kind of don't want to because there's so much great comedy stuff on there, like stand-up and everything else. Is Shane Gillis on Netflix? Because I could just listen to that while I'm doing stuff. I'm going with it. That was the Hormozi Dave Ramsey thing that I brought up, maybe. I don't know. Let's see. He repeats himself to remind and remember. Man, oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, geez, grazie. All right. Oop, I'm skipping things. Why? I'll send pics. There are different aliens for each movie. Drones and warriors are the two main types. Got it. Appreciate it, Sarah. I still got to get on Instagram and see. I saw you sent some other messages, and I've been terrible. Guys, something's going on with Toypixx right now where, like, a lot more people are either hearing about it or there's, like, an undercurrent that's about to burst. I don't know what's going on, but it's getting tougher to keep up. I want to try to keep up, so I will be making a concerted effort to do that and answer messages and comments and all that stuff, too. But it's getting tougher. I understand why some people just get kind of ignored. It's not them, like, don't ever, if you're trying to get a hold of somebody and they don't get back to you and they've kind of blown up a little bit, and I'm not saying that's me, but I can understand at this point now, they're not getting back to you because they think you're a tool. They're not getting back to you because there's just not enough time. So don't take that personally if that's happened to you. Let's see. No, on YouTube, Shane is awesome. Okay, cool. I will definitely check him out. Okay. Let's see. You need to get to StreamPad to do certain jobs. You need to get a StreamPad to do certain jobs. I don't know what you mean. Help me out. Maybe that's an OnlyFans thing. That'll be me shaving my legs again. Rawr. Let's see. Okay. All right, guys. Let's see. I'm trying to think of anything else too crazy here. I think we basically settled on NECA for Jungle Hunter, NECA for Big Chap. We've got Mezco for one of the Conans. We've got, what was Super 7 was something that we were talking about that was pretty good. Maybe that was just me talking about Stitch. And I'm trying to think of what else. When it comes to the T800, I know the third-party one was brought up. And I'm just wondering about the Mofex one. I know Mofex also did the Big Chap, but I haven't seen great things about that. The reviews I've seen about him are kind of meh. So I guess I'd probably be more inclined to go NECA on that. Don't worry about getting back to people until it starts making money. Man, the reason things start making money, though, is because you're showing that you're actually connected with everybody. And that's one of the reasons I love doing these live streams, is because I get to chat with all of you guys. And I do feel like I need to get out there and I need to start talking to people a little more. That's one of the reasons I want to do the whole con thing, is get out and chat with folks. I think it'd be fun. I like that personal touch, I guess. So when I'm not able to do it, it kind of bothers me when I just, for whatever reason, like tonight. Okay, check this out. About 2 hours before this live stream started, I was looking back in my office and I'm like, this place is a disaster. And I kind of figure I need to clean up around here. My whole place is a disaster, not just the office. And it would be good if people could, stop by without me having to do a whole marathon day of cleaning up. So I took about 2 hours to clean, but that was 2 hours that I couldn't be on Twitter or Instagram or YouTube replying to comments. And so that's where the timing gets tricky, is you really try and figure out what the most important way to do these things are. Let's see. I mentioned Pinky and the Brain. Yeah, I remember I brought them up too. Ooh, they're on sale. Who has Pinky and the Brain on sale? I'm curious, because Animaniacs were pretty awesome. I was a big fan of that show. Let's see. Pinky. Oh, apparently I knew what you were saying. No worries there. So yeah, Super 7 for Stitch, Pinky and the Brain, any kind of Animaniacs. We already covered what NECA was awesome with. Mezco for sure with the King, or with just Conan in general. Other characters. I think I've settled on basically SHF for Pac-Man, because I think that's really the only Pac-Man out there. Goku, though, I gotta figure out what the best Goku is. Or are they all kind of average and none of the Gokus are really awesome? Like, I know people have been saying the new Goku with the yellow hair and the ripped pants and all that, they're saying he's an incredible figure. And that I heard, and I think it wasn't Anthony's Customs, I can't remember who it was. Somebody brought up the fact that there was a new sculptor on the line and they just have been killing it with a couple figures. And maybe I should wait till the next Goku comes out if it's a new sculpt, because maybe this guy will be sculpting that. I don't know. It's weird how much I want a Goku. Like the ones in the thumbnail, the T800, the Pac-Man, and the Goku, I want those, and I don't even know why. Like, I watched Terminator, and I know at the time it was a big-time thing, and it was kind of revolutionary, but I didn't watch it till last year. That's right. Bad nerd again, but I thought it was cool, but I'd seen so many stories like that up to that point that it didn't feel as special to me today as it probably would have years ago. But I still want a T800. All right, BBTS did 27. Ooh, that's a good deal. BBTS had all those sales, though, when it came to Super 7. And I'm not sure Pinky and the Brain and Stitch qualify as pop culture. They're just things I think are really cool. Let's see, Elgato Stream Deck, Mark II white studio controller, 15 macro keys, trigger actions in apps, and software like OBS, Twitch, YouTube, and more. Works with Mac and PC. And what would I need that specifically for? Is that is it better to stream with? Just let me know. Because, or is it back to the OnlyFans where, like, would it do better on seeing the individual hairs as I shave them off my legs? These are the answers that everybody wants to know. Let's see. There you go. On Amazon. Okay. That's what I'm after. What is it good for necessarily? Let's see. Skew Raider. Elgatos are awesome. Dang it. Why are these things I haven't heard of? I am so technologically, like, I feel like I pick up on technology pretty quickly. The problem is I need to hear about it first. And now I'm hearing about Elgatos for the first time, although they are cats. So I do know that. Meow and stuff. But that's just a little bit of Spanish. By the way, did any of you guys catch me on the Fat DeLoreans live stream the other night? I think it was Friday night. I started, they have you, you sit in the green room where basically you're just sitting there waiting to be invited onto the show. And it was a good time. I have a blast with those guys. It's the second time I've been on, but we started at 11:30 and it went till almost 2:30. So it was a great conversation and it was fun. And then I stayed on chatting to the guys until 3:30. And then I worked on a video for a little bit and went to bed at 4:30. My timing is still way off. Like, I'll probably be awake for another 2 or 3 hours when really I should be in bed almost in a half hour or so because I got to try and get up at 5. I'm totally lost. This is me. This is my life. Welcome to it. Okay. They qualified, definitely. Each have a following. Pinky and the Brain, Stitch. Okay. All right. I mean, they have a following, but clearly the figures went on sale. So is that more a referendum on Super 7 as a company, or is that more people just didn't want Pinky and the Brain and Stitch because they didn't care enough about the figures? These are the things that I just don't know. All right, Harry, you wouldn't have to hunt and peck for certain routines. Okay, got it. As far as the Elgato you're talking about, right? Okay, link to the show, please. Oh, the Fat DeLoreans one? It's on, I think you're signed up for the newsletter. I'll see if I can find that. I'm not sure I can find it here just yet, just because I'm not that technologically savvy. But the Fat DeLoreans live stream is in the newsletter. There's a link to it there if you want to give that a shot. So yeah, it was just fun. Now the guys speak Spanish, but they're always cool and speak plenty of English when I'm on there. So you'll understand a whole lot of the live stream. You'll understand the vast majority of it. So it was good times. But yeah, those guys are always cool. And check them out. They don't have a massive following, so we should work on that. Yep, okay, got it. Elgato. I will look into it. So much homework you guys give me. Got to replay crew that show. We'll report back with enjoyment and laughs on that Fat DeLorean show if I saw them too. The figure prices originally were too high, and 2023 was crazy with drops. That's true, and that's something else that every company has to take into consideration when it comes to trying to gamble with a new license, is people's money is so divided over everything else. What happens when you release a less popular license? So yeah, it's tough, man. The toy game is a tough game. I can see that. Let's see. I'll look it up. No worries. Thanks, Harry. Sorry, man. I'll get better at this whole thing so that I can start posting links and all that in the chat. Speaking of, though, let's see. What do I have? I think I've got something I can share here. Just chat real quick. Make sure you guys are following me on Patreon. And I'm not even, you can totally follow for free and everything else. But there's stuff on there that I think is going to help out people with their photos. This was today's photo just because I am a fan. I think that Chester is great. I love everything Jade is doing. This thing moves way better than it should be able to move, which is insane. And then here's one of the reasons to follow me on Patreon. I made this snow thing. So if you have Photoshop, what you do is you grab this, you paste it into its own layer in Photoshop, and then you set the mode to screen. And there might be other photo programs that can do that as well. So if you have one that you use to edit, look and see if this will work for that and report back. I want to know about that kind of thing because I want to make sure I'm talking about all the different ways that you can really edit photos for fun, for the good stuff. But I know Photoshop, so that's why I know you drop this into Photoshop, you set the layer to screen, the black will disappear, and you'll have all this snow all over the place. And that's why I'm saying you definitely want to sign up for the newsletter or the Patreon, because there are paid tiers on the Patreon, but there's also a free tier, and you still get all this stuff regardless. Sorry about that. Apparently, I'm starting to understand why the throat thing, everybody's like, yeah, the throat's no good right now. All right. Skew Raider, I saw the first one. We'll watch the second one. You finally gave me homework. Photo day achievement unlocked. All right. Yes. Now I'm not the only one getting homework. That makes me happy. All right, guys. It's about that time. I got to get out of here. So thanks, as always, for stopping by. It's always massively appreciated. I love the conversation tonight. And I'll try and come up with a different kind of topic for Thursday. I want to do the photo one, but I'm not going to have time to really prepare it between now and Thursday. So probably sometime after the new year, honestly, because the next couple of weeks are busy. The next couple of weeks for you guys are probably going to be pretty busy. So we'll take care of having some fun and getting that photo live stream going sometime early in the new year. I'd like to say January. In fact, I will say January. We'll make sure that happens sometime in January. And so, as always, thanks again for stopping by. Massively appreciated. And until next time, have fun. Happy snapping. See ya. Let's see if I can push this real quick and not know things. Here we go.